YouTubes. I've got a Craftsman lawnmower here. I got this for free. It was in terrible shape. They had hit something with it and bent the blade, and they continued to use it, and it shook itself to death. Well, I went and tightened up everything. I probably need to clean the carburetor. The wheel, I had to replace the front wheels because they were all whacked. But this thing leaks oil. You can see I've been keeping it over this cardboard. Well, it leaks oil, and I believe it's leaking from the crank seal. Either from the crank seal or nearby somewhere, or maybe it's where the two engine has meet. But I didn't see that. You know, here I don't see it leaking there. So because I've seen that happen where it leaks up in front from the engine when it leaking in the gasket there. So this is probably going to be a crank seal, unless there's another part of the sump that comes apart that has a gasket, which I don't think it is. So what I got here is a new crank seal. So this video is going to be about replacing a crank seal on a Briggs & Stratton. This is one of those 163cc engines. One of those. I had this exact same engine on my own personal Craftsman, which is self-propelled. This one is not. So what this is going to be involving, got to take this plus the blade adapter off, and I'm going to have to get out the crank seal here and then install this new one. One of the benefits of having a leaky crankshaft is the blade adapter comes off really easy. So So I think we're just going to replace this crank seal. I got one here. Where I put it, yeah. Got one here. A new one here. And we'll go from there. I've had this crank seal for about a few months. I just been putting this off because I don't do this that often, so I think I've only done it once before, and I was on at Tecumseh. What I've done here is I have cleaned off the shaft. I took a wire brush, put this on my drill, and kind of brushed that, made that kind of easier and smoothed it out. And then I sprayed carb cleaner on it and wiped it down to clean it up. Now, the next thing, I cleaned it up, I gotta take a drill with a very small drill bit. And what I'm gonna do is start a hole in the seal so that I can then put a drywall screw in. So, see, yeah, so I can see. Okay. Now I'm going to put a screw in wherever I put mine. In that hole, you see oil's coming out of it already. Believe it's right there. So I'm gonna screw this in by hand, and what will happen is the seal will come out enough so where I can grab it with a pick. See? Oops. I'm basically redoing what I did in an old video that I didn't do it as well job of filming it. And I just never had another one to work on before. So I'm going to take this screw out, this drywall screw out, which is all full of oil. And now you can see the seal has come out. So I'm going to use a pick to, yeah, I'm going to need to get a box or some cardboard or whatever underneath this because it's going to leak. There. So now I'm gonna carefully take this crank seal out. I'm using a snap-on pick. That was my grandfather's, and we've got the seal. Here is the new one. We're gonna first clean this up in there before we put the new seal in. What I do is I put a little gasket sealer on the outside of it, just really thin. You don't have to do that. That's what Donnie Boy does when I saw his video. So, and then you're gonna put a little oil on the shaft there to help make the new seal go in easier. I'm just putting a little bit of oil that I got here on the shaft, so it'll help the new seal go on better. This is clean oil. So now, gonna put the seal back on. Okay, it's not on yet. I gotta push it down more. What I'm doing now is I gotta push the seal down. And if you've got a piece of pipe that's just over that, you can push it down over that, or like a impact socket or something. I don't have that luxury. So what I'm gonna do, I've got these vice grips. Now these things, these grooves here, you don't want to damage the shaft, so I'll put some like a towel around it so I can protect the shaft. So what you're going to do is we're going to put it in there, and we're going to put this on it, and we're going to then tap this so that this part will push it in. That's the best thing I can do in lieu of having a socket for it, or a piece of pipe, which I don't have, or even a PCV pipe. That's just the right size. So let me scavenge it around. This is the old seal. I'm just going to use this as a kind of just to kind of help push it in. So I'm going to do is I got these channel locks. I'm going to stick it on like that. I'm going to take my hammer and kind of lightly tap it in. Right now the camera's in the way. So this is the redneck way of doing it because I don't have the right tool. You see, it's going in crooked, but it's going in. So now we're going to focus on this other side. Still crooked. I've done this once before. How did I do it? I don't know. It was 5 years ago. I believe I did it. I remember I used channel locks or something like that. You see. see if I can use a punch. Yeah. Let's see. That's terrible. I think I got it, but I'm not sure. I hope the part was the right one because I looked it up online and based off the engine code, and that's what it gave me. It did look sort of like this one. So only time will tell if it'll leak. So I'm just gonna put everything back on and see how it is. Here's the back here with the mower. What I'm gonna do is just start it. This was shaking like crazy. I traced that down to a balance, a blade balance problem. I have now put a different blade on it that's balanced. It's 20 inch, but whatever. So you're gonna see here that it runs. Shakes a little bit, but it's a lot better than it used to be. Well, only time will tell if that seal fixes the leak. I'll have to stick a piece of cardboard underneath it and let it sit overnight.